I'm going to show you what I've learned when I've been going through this game journey, this cold approach journey. I've been on it for about a year and a half. I'm going to show you, at the start I wasn't getting laid at all. Now it's fucking easy. Um, right now though, I'm at home, so I'm not actually in the game at the moment. So just waiting to move out so I can get back in there. But I'm going to tell you things that I've heard that not that I've heard that I've fucking figured out from my own personal experience. So I've got a few graphs here that I'm going to show you. Okay, right. Ignore these two. This is the average guy. The average guy, right? His looks account for most of his total ability to get girls, right? Ignore the proportions. These are just for reference. Okay, so the average guy, his game is accounting for a quarter. It's accounting for a quarter of his ability to get girls, and 10 points, just as a reference. And the points just account for, your ability, how much it's contributing in terms of your ability to get girls. So his looks is 30, and his game is 10. This is just numbers, just an illustrate a point. These are not fucking accurate by any means. Right. So now this is what I was like at the start. Right. Even if your looks aren't amazing, I'm not a fucking great looking guy, but your looks still account for a large proportion of your game, of your ability to get girls. Sorry, not your game. Your looks still account for, the majority of your ability to get girls because your game fucking blows. Now, after following your average PUA coaching and after hammering away a lot of cold approach, you become I became this guy. I became this guy. So my looks was the same. My looks is still 30, but my game has gone up to 20. Now I know that this is ignore the proportionality. It's just to illustrate a point. So notice my total ability to get girls went up by 10, right? But my look stays the same. My game's improved, and notice that the size of the pie has gotten bigger, right? So although it looks like the game has encroached upon the looks thing, that isn't the case. The looks is still the same. It's just that the pie has gotten bigger. Your total ability to get girls gets bigger when you just learn a bit of fucking game. When you do a little bit of cold approach, you just get a little bit better, right? This is what I was like for the first 6 months of my cold approach journey. This is what happens when you follow J-Mov and you apply his shit. This is what happened to me when I listened to J-Mov. J-Mov is John Anthony Lifestyle. When I listened to him, this was about 9 months to a year into my journey. So I only really discovered John Anthony about a year ago, but obviously I've been absent from the game a little bit. So, a year ago technically, but a lot of time has passed since then, right? In that year, a lot happened. So, as you can see, my looks stays the same, 30, but my game is 300. It's fucking blown the fuck up. And so your total ability to get girls, my total ability to get girls went way higher. Now, this is how, this is the reason why, looks actually doesn't matter that much, in my opinion. Looks matter, notice. Looks matters loads when your game blows. When your game blows, you think everything's about looks. Because it applies, because you can very clearly tell it's the biggest determinant of whether you get laid or not is your looks. It occupies most of the pie, right? That was me at the start of my journey, and that's why I was very insecure about my looks, because I saw it as the thing that was moving the needle forward, and I saw it as something that I couldn't change. Do you understand? Right? With this, now, this is the position I'm in now. So now I'm barely, I'm fucking not insecure about my looks at all, right? Relatively speaking. Of course, there's still insecurity lingering there, but I can tell you for sure, way loads of the damage is just gone. And the reason why is because even though I know looks matters, as you can see, looks does matter, right? It's about a tenth. But I know because my game is so fucking dialed in, I just know that I don't even think about the looks because I know that it's not the main thing that's moving the needle forward, so to speak. Whereas in this scenario, you're stressing about your looks. It's imagine if you're in business, right, and your sales ability sucks. You're just going to be focusing on your sales ability all the time. Whereas when let's say sales isn't the bottleneck in your business. Let's say actually it's marketing. Your marketing is the thing that's the bottleneck. In that case, you'd be stressing about the marketing way more because that's the thing that's ultimately going to get. That's the thing which is having the largest causal influence in getting you to where you want to get to. So I'm sure I'm beating this point home now, but this is really how the progression went. From here, stressing about looks, and also my ability to get girls fucking blows because I'm only at 40, right? Here, I was doing a lot of work for very little extra gain. I was doing a lot of cold approaches, learning a lot of new concepts for barely any gain. Here is when everything skyrocketed because I learned from the right fucking guy, John Anthony Lifestyle, also known as J Mulv. This guy fucking really changed in my life for sure because now my game is just like 330, and I know that I'm not even towards the like. I'm not even where I could be. I could probably be like 1,000 plus. Although these are all like relative little numbers, right? Not actually representing anything. It's just like relative ability of getting chicks. So what I really would recommend, like if I was to go back in time and if I was to tell myself, I would just dial in the game from him. Don't listen to average coach because with an average coach, you're going up by 10. And again, I don't have any vested interest here. I'm trying to help you out, right? Don't have any fucking monetary interest. I'm a fucking small channel. No one's even subscribed. I've got no subscribers, for God's sake. Dial in your game. Follow JMov. Dial in your game. And at this point, not only will you be fucking getting chicks and getting way more because your ability is way higher, but you'll barely be thinking about your looks because you will know that it's barely taking up any of your fucking ability. It barely matters. It's insignificant. And guess what? As the game goes up, imagine if that went up to 600. If that went up to 600, that's a 10th, yeah? Right? Or an 11th of the pie. That's an 11th, yeah? Because the total was 330, so that's fucking an 11th. Imagine if that doubled to 600. Then it'd be a 20's tooth, right? So the more you increase that, the less you're going to think about looks because it doesn't fucking mean shit, right? The bigger this gets, the lower that gets in proportion to the whole. You stress about that less and it makes you fucking way happier. And more importantly, your ability to get chicks goes way up and you just crush. And man, it's such an ultimate feeling. Obviously women aren't everything, like they're obviously not everything, but like when you don't have any chicks, it feels like they're everything. When you don't have chicks, it's like having a permanent like ache and you just can't think of anything else apart from it. But then when you do succeed, you start focusing on other problems in your life. It's quite funny. Like imagine if you were broke. If you're broke, all you're thinking about is money. If you're hungry, all you're thinking about is food. But as soon as you get food, as soon as you get money, there's new problems there. You start thinking about other shit. So, I mean, yeah, that's a little bit deep, but this is the thing that I know. I know this because I've experienced it. And if you're in a position where maybe you think you're here or here, and you want to get to here, because obviously you want to get to here because fucking hell, chicks and low insecurity, this is the man, J-Mulv, John Anthony Lifestyle. Can't recommend enough. That's it. Don't even know if anyone's going to find this video. It's an absolute gem. I won't lie. I actually thought about this, like, been thinking about this pie charts for about a few months, kind of been like on off thinking about it. It makes complete sense. It's what I've experienced. Yeah, really hope if one guy is watching this, dude, fucking like, oh my god, what a gem. That's it.